Oh, hi guys. Today is June the 17th, and um, I am coming to you today because I have some news for you. This is an update on what's been going on. As I said before, though, this is my official apparel because it represents humility before our Father heaven and our Father God in heaven. And it's my name is not because my middle name or my former name is Abusalem. It's not because of that. It's because of humility before our Father in heaven. So, but at any rate, these are unedited, uncut videos. I'm coming to the public because they are emergency videos. Um, the last video that I did, or the one before the last one I did, I specifically sent a notice of dismissal to the United States Supreme Court justices because they have some fraudulent documents or whatever with my name on it and my son's name up there pending, and I do believe pending in the Supreme Court. So that's why I sent the notice of dismissal entitled Sharon and James Bridgewater versus Donald Trump. If they have any documents up there pending up there with our name on it, we do have the right to dismiss, and we dismiss them. And the video before that, I specifically sent to the Supreme Court justices that notice of dismissal, and I'm trying to find out. I have so much to bring to you guys, and then I'm going to try to keep it under 30 minutes. Previously, excuse me guys, excuse me 1 minute. I don't have the notice of dismissal. Oh, here it is. Here it is, right here. So, previously, on the video that I did before, I sent this, and I made sure I videotaped it. I sent this to the Supreme Court justices. Right here, can you see that? And it's dismissing all claims against Donald Trump if they have any fraudulent documents up there, which I do believe they do. So that's why I sent that to them, and they did get a copy of it because I overnighted it. So, but at any rate, since that last time I sent that, they came out, somebody or whoever, reporter, whatever, they posted this on the website, this article right here. And it's called Supreme Court Could Force Congress into a Battle Over Dreamers. Now, this article right here specifically states that they could knock this thing back down to the Congress for Congress to fight over it, that they kind of like don't have jurisdiction to rule over it. And guys, they already know they don't have jurisdiction to rule over, because they already got that letter of dismissal. If they got any fraudulent documents up there belonging to me and my son, they already know they don't have no jurisdiction over, because I sent that letter of dismissal, and we did not file no writ of ceremonial, ceremony or whatever, however you pronounce it. I'm pronouncing it wrong. I know I am, but my son and I haven't filed anything in the Supreme Court. After 42 dismissed cases, we haven't submitted any documents, any First Amendment complaints in the Supreme Court, and they know this. So, you doggone right, they don't have no jurisdiction over the Dreamers Act if they have any fraudulent documents up there, because we didn't submit anything up there. So I just wanted to go over this briefly with you and say a Supreme Court decision necessitating Congress to act would add another monstrous task to its to-do list this year. And then it goes on to say, about the deferred action. And I didn't even print the rest of this out. But basically what the article is saying, that they just going to, put it back, give it back to Congress and have Congress to battle over it and give them a little bit of time to fight and come up with this thing, to rule on this or whatever. And then, because it's unconstitutional, and they know, just like I said, they know it's unconstitutional. So again, this is the Supreme Court could force Congress to battle over Dreamers. Now, that's after they got this notice of dismissal. So, but at any rate, guys, that's what's going on with that. And also today, what I found online was the Solicitor General, because when I mailed my certified letters, I posted it on Facebook when I sent my certified letters to the Trump and the Solicitor General right here. He's resigning. He's resigning as of today, the 17th. It says Solicitor General Noel Francisco, who argued Trump's position before the Supreme Court, leaving DOJ. Now, here's a picture of him. He leaving. Now, you got to question yourself, why is he leaving right now when the Supreme Court coming out with this Dreamers decision pretty soon? Yeah, this, you got to question that. Why is he leaving after he get a letter of dismissal from me? Why is he leaving? But at any rate, guys, I'm going to get back to this. I just want to kind of like brief you on the last time that I found submitted some information. And again, folks, if I found discombobulated or if my thoughts all over the place, it's because I got a lot that I kind of want to go over today. And this is an emergency video because they is coming out with a decision, and I just want to try to get as much information as I can get out to the public. Now, also today, I was on the website, and like before I told you, I went over, the Pacer, and I discovered so much fraud concerning my name up in the U.S. Court of Appeals. And I know that, since the document right here was in the United States Courts of Appeal, this right here, this 911 case, it's entitled Sharon Bridgewater versus Donald Trump and William Barr. Now, I know since this case right here is in the U.S. Court of Appeal, most likely the Supreme Court got some fraudulent documents up in their court regarding my son and I. So, like I said, I discovered this when I was on the Pacer. And today when I went on the Pacer, I couldn't get in. I couldn't get in the Pacer because this is what's now on the Pacer, guys, this right here. And this says right here, I'm going to read just at the bottom what it says. This is a restricted government website for official Pacer use only. Unauthorized entry is prohibited and subject to prosecution under Title 18 U.S.C. Code. All activities and access attempts are logged. Now, folks, I just went on the Pacer and discovered that fraud, the fraud, the U.S. government using my name and everything. And so I tried to log into it, and I can't get in the site today. And this is what's on the Pacer today, right now. So I wanted to inform you guys of what's going on with that. Now, I'm going to put this aside. So, okay. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do right now. I am going to explain to you all exactly what racketeering is, okay? Okay, before I came with my previous videos about how the government, a public-private partnership, was extorting money from the tenants as well as my son and I. So, and if you want to go research this, you can look at my prior videos and find out about that. But so what I want to do right now is explain what racketeering is. So racketeering is when, before I get off into this, guys, I was telling you guys before that I was involved in a 2.5-year relationship with the top mafia figure in the world. And I told you guys on my last video how, I prayed to God to meet the most powerful mafia guy figure in the world. And, God heard me. He always hear my prayer. So, yeah, I met him, and we was in a very close relationship, like for 2.5 years. And he is the one doing all this crazy stuff right now with this fraud and stuff. But first, let me tell you about what racketeering is. Racketeering is specifically was a law that was enacted in 1970 to combat the mafia and like guys like El Capone and all that. Well, this guy is nothing like he make El Capone look like little ants. But so racketeering, that's what racketeering, it was specifically came out for the bad guys, the mafia figure people and all of that. And when I say bad, we all are sinful creatures, sinful people. We all understand, but they just do it, whatever. But anyway, racketeering is when you commit at least two acts of racketeering in a 10-year period. And they go on to say, they right up under here, they go on to say racketeering activity mean acts of threat involving murder, kidnap, gambling, arson, robbery, bribery, extortion, dealing in obscene matter, or dealing in controlled substances, or a list of chemicals, controls, and then it go on and on and on about these, acts, fraud, wire fraud, mail fraud, and then it keep going on, a whole bunch. So it's specific. It's 35 crimes and 27 federal crimes and 8 crimes. So you can be be convicted of racketeering if you commit 2 acts. Now, okay, let me go on to finish that. So, and then it says, it shall be unlawful for any person through a pattern of racketeering activity to collect racketeering activity or through collection of unlawful debt to acquire or maintain directly or indirectly any interest in or control of any enterprise which is engaged or activities which affect interstate and foreign commerce. It shall be unlawful for any person to be employed by or associated with any enterprise engaged in or the activities which affect interstate foreign commerce to conduct or participate directly or indirectly in through the conduct of such enterprise affairs through a pattern of racketeering activity to a collection of unlawful debt. And then it says it shall be unlawful for a person to conspire to violate any of the provisions. Now, as before, guys, I told you how my son and I were victims of government racketeering because we had 2 acts of extortion with the 2 stipulated judgments, and I put that online. So, and you guys can see this in the previous video. So, I just wanted to go over this to tell you about it. And also, the law permits, if you do one of these things, the law permits the law permits the DOJ to forfeit your property, or any person can forfeit it. Any person, I could forfeit the public-private partnership property, because James and I are victims of racketeering activity, public-private partnership. So, because we are people, victims and witnesses of two acts of extortion and schemes to defraud fraud. So James and I, we can attach people the public-private partnership property. Okay, so that's what that this criminal penalties is, and I just want to go over this with you really fast. It says when you are held, when somebody is convicted for racketeering, it permits a person to okay, this says property subject to criminal forfeit under the section include real property, and include things growing on or fixed to, found on land, tangible, intangible, personal property, all rights. So when somebody, is found guilty of racketeering, it permits a private person to go attach their property without, they ain't even got no right for anything, because they are liable and for racketeering. The government as well as the private person can just go take their property, on a judgment from the court. So that's what this says right here. Okay, so getting back to this, guys, right here. I want to get back to this San Francisco complaint, and it's almost 18 minutes now, but I'm going to really try to do this really fast. Okay, so back in 2005, James and I, we entered in a lease agreement with the HUD, which is a public-private part. Well, before I say that, I just want to say, how can criminal partners sue each other? You can't sue each other if you both of y'all partners in crime. You can't go to court and say, they did me wrong, because both of y'all partners in crime. And that's exactly what the government and trying to do. They was partners in crime with these private people, and that's what they trying to do up in the Supreme Court. They trying to sue the other partner who they was criminal partners with. That don't make sense. But anyway, getting back to this, guys, I'm gonna go over this real fast. So, but anyway, we signed a lease agreement. Here go the HUD lease. So that was in 2005, and here's the other lease agreement right here. So let me put that down. So, like I said before, we entered in an agreement with them. So, at any rate, what had happened was they sent a notice to pay rent, or quit. Okay, that's the first. And this notice is illegal because it don't have an amount due. So, in order for you to do unlawful detainer, which are summary procedures, you have to, eviction proceedings are summary proceedings. They go quick, and you have to do things especially right, because they are summary procedures. So, but at any rate, they sent this notice to quit, which don't have an exact amount of due and everything. That's the first scheme to defraud, and it's an invalid notice to quit. So then after they did that, and let me remind you that they did a whole lot of tenants like this. Not only my son and I, but they did a whole lot. Just my son and I, we were the only one they did 2 with, which is 2 RICO violations. So after they sent that notice to quit, they filed, this was the scheme, listen now, they filed this unlawful detainer in court. They filed this lawsuit in court for the possession of the place, which they didn't even have a valid notice to pay rent or quit. Okay, so after they filed the unlawful detainer, they came back to the tenants and they said, hey, look, we want possession of our property, and we want this amount for you to stay here. Okay, so the scheme was they had put amount of rent down here, so this was the first notice they got. Okay, this is the first stipulated judgment right here, guys, and then they got plaintiff is awarded $14.99 as principal and $5.95 as attorney fees. So this, and then they put totaling $26.74. So, okay, once, and then they got all these provisions in here, which again I'm not gonna go over, but they violate the HUD standards. They got provisions in here like lockouts and everything. They pretty much what they do is scare the tenants. Like, hey, if you don't come up with this money, and if you don't keep this, we locking you out your place and all of this. And this is what's on these stipulated judgment. So, however much that was over $3,000, something like that. And then they had my son to sign it, okay? So, okay, time went on. Okay. Time went on. So, on the same, so he just was paying him. He couldn't do nothing because the agreement say you can't go to court, you just got to pay. So, he just was paying him, okay? So on the same, I'm going to go over 30 minutes, guys. I see now the clock is winding down. And I'm going to just try to wrap this up because I know I said under 30 minutes. But so, okay, so on the same unlawful detainer, they sent another notice now. This is on the same lawsuit, guys. You can't send no 2 notices to pay rent or quit on the same lawsuit. This is the same lawsuit, and this was like almost a year later. Okay, and I guess he paid all of that, so they wanted some more money. They wanted some more money, so they sent another notice to pay rent to quit on the same unlawful detainer without this, just like the first, without no exact amount of rent due. On the same, they wanted some more money, so they sent another notice to pay rent or quit. So, after they did that, what they did, folks, was, I think by that time, I was back, in town or whatever. And so they sent another notice to pay rent and quit. And then, before I told you guys that I got evicted on Christmas, well, it wasn't on Christmas Day, but it was close to it. Because here is the writ for the possession right here. Y'all see that? It say the 24th. And it's Christmas Eve. And it say copy of notice posted at premises on the 26th. So it was a day after Christmas, but they went to the county sheriff on the 24th, Christmas Eve, and got the writ. So this is the thing right here. And they posted this on my door. And on the day after Christmas in the morning. So guys, I was so discombobulated. I said, oh my goodness. I get this notice posted on my door after enjoying Christmas and everything, and I was just I was so messed up and everything because you have to move. If you get something posted on your door, you got to get out of that place immediately, fast as you can. They give you so many days, like 5 days to get out. So I was so distraught. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? And so, but before that, what they had did, before that, they had went, they got a judgment at the court, and then they posted that on the door. So after that, I was so distraught. I was so distraught. I was like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta find a place, and it was cold and everything. So I had broke my foot. I broke my foot. So distressing. Here is the thing from the San Francisco doctor here, y'all, where I had broke my foot because I was so under a lot of stress. And so, I had to get on. I had to, right here it say fractured foot right here. Y'all see that? So that was at the hospital. So what they did was they put me in the doctor put me in a cast. I was on crutches. And, at that time, I was running back and forth to the court. It was raining. It was cold. I was on crutches. I was, like, hopping back and forth to the court. And, and I'm just like, oh, I need to find a place. So I was going back and forth to court, trying to get around, look for a place. So I found a place. Guys. Excuse me. I found a place. So by that time, I found a place. So I was like, yeah, okay, I got a place now. I'm all right. So I gave the guy my deposit money right here, and his name, Mr. and Mrs. Bamford. They're very nice people. And the apartment number was 769 Oakdale Avenue. And then I gave him like $500. And then with a balance of $160, okay? So I had informed Hood, because I was on Section 8, I had informed Hood that I found another place. And they was like, oh, good. And so the Hood people entered into agreement with them just like this. And I do have this agreement like this somewhere in this paperwork. I just haven't had time to look through all this paperwork because this is an emergency video. But Hood signed another lease agreement just like this, guys. So okay, I was in this apartment. I was all safe. And then, I found another apartment. I moved out of Hayes Valley. And, just like I said, I was going back and forth to the court, wondering what's going on. And at that time, the judge had vacated. See that? The judge had vacated the judgment for the possession of the Hayes Valley Limited Partnership. The judge said, man, y'all, this stuff ain't right. Y'all doing some fraud stuff. Y'all, this stuff ain't right. So he vacated the judgment that they got for the Hayes Valley, where I was the public-private partnership. He vacated that judgment. He clearly saw that they was doing fraud. So he vacated that judgment. And here is this. So when he vacated that judgment, Hood, they came back to me and they said, oh, you got to move back into that old apartment. Now, need to man, you guys, I had got me a U-Haul truck. I was hopping around on crutches. And the place that I moved into on Oakdale Street, it was a second-story apartment. The place on the public-private partnership on Page, it was a second-floor apartment. So I'm hopping up and down these steps on crutches. James helping me move. I'm hopping on crutches. It's cold, raining, moving out of Hayes Valley, got an apartment, hopped up on the crutches, moved into the new apartment. So Hood say, you got to move back to that old apartment after I got the vacated just so. It was cold and everything. I had to rent another U-Haul truck. Hop down that step, move my furniture down Oakdale Street, move back into Hayes Valley apartment. And so when I moved back in there, that's when this stipulated judgment came in right here. They came to me with this judgment, okay? So I'm all distraught, tired. When I moved back on Hayes Valley, I was so tired. I just moved the stuff in there, just was sleeping on the floor on the mattress. I was so tired. So, but anyway, when I get back into the apartment, Hayes Valley, they came to me with with the same kind of stipulated judgment right here that they entered into agreement with my son with. And what they said, okay, this stipulated judgment, they were saying we want possession of our apartment. Again, after I got that, the judge vacated that. So I told them, I said, I'm not moving out of this apartment this quick no more. After I done found an apartment and moved back in here, I said no. And then so that's where all this April 30th come in at. Y'all see that down there? April 30th. So they changed the date. So, okay, the first, they changed the date. We changed the date. And then what they put down here, plaintiff will waive all past due rent in amount of 2124. Just like I said, folks, they wasn't even giving me no amount due. They didn't show me no exact amount due. I didn't know how much I owe. They just said 2124.74. They didn't prove nothing to me because, like I told y'all on before, on this thing right here, where the lady had verified this, that they wasn't showing no exact amount due, where she said, I am writing in regards to Sharon Bridgewater, who resides at 427 Page, San Francisco. Mrs. Bridgewater came to our office to apply for rental assistance for back rent. She owed, in order to complete her application, we need to know how much amount was for rent and how much was for legal fees. This is because Radco can only pay rent and not other fees on more than 4 different occasions. I attempt to get the correct amount of rent from her apartment manager, but was unable to. At one point, I was sent a ledger, but then was told it was not the correct amount. As of today, I still have not received the amount due to finalize her application. So that's this lady right here already verified that they didn't, they just was just telling people just different amounts. Hey, and they wasn't verifying them. And just like I told y'all, they sent 2 notices to pay rent or quit on the same apartment. Which you can't do that. And I got that vacated job. But anyway, getting back to this, so I signed the stipulated judgment with them because I said, I ain't moving out this apartment that quick. Y'all, something wrong with y'all. Y'all got to be crazy. So they just came up with this amount. They didn't prove this 2174. So, I knew they was doing something fraudulent. And then they going to we're going to return your security deposit to you in accordance with California law. Okay. And then, I was like, oh no, you guys can't do this like this. It ain't going on like this. So on number 15, guys, this is what I wrote. I wrote, the defendant reserve the right to sue in the future and do not give up all claims pertaining to future lawsuits. So I made them sign this. I put this provision number 15 like I'm not giving up my rights to sue y'all, because I am definitely finna sue y'all, because I know y'all doing some fraud, So I specifically made sure that we signed this, and I put this revision in here, and this was the second RICO stipulated violation, this stipulated scheme, the defraud right here. So when I did that, oh, let me get back to that. And so here is the settlement thing. Just like she put this our settlement, and she kept, she gonna return the deposit according to California law. So okay, so they saying that. So I moved out the apartment. Did they return my California? Did they return my security deposit back? No, they didn't return nothing back to me, as I recall. They did not return nothing back to me. So, but at any rate, so I said, yeah. So I filed a first complaint against the rackets. Okay, I filed a first complaint against the rackets. So, I filed this lawsuit, and I don't have the complaint with me, but the complaint was about breach of contract, gross negligence, and everything. So at that time, I was having such a hard time, because I was suing the government, which is a private partner, public-private partnership. I was suing the government because they overruled whatever is private, because they the government. So I pretty much was suing the government. So at that time, I was just going back and forth, having a hard time and everything. And I was just having a hard time. So, and I filed a complaint. So, but what I did was, I'm going to get back to you about what happened between when I filed that complaint. Well, let me just go over it now. When I filed that, after that, what I did was, I was under so much distress, I moved to Hawaii. I moved to Maui, Hawaii. Okay, and so, and people say, well, how that lady be getting around? God is good. Because at that time, I had a friend who worked for Delta, and I had a flight, a buddy pass. I was getting like buddy passes. So, but at any rate, I said, man, I need a break from this stuff. So I moved to Hawaii for a year, to Maui, Hawaii, and that was a very nice experience. But at any rate, while I was in Hawaii and all of that, I filed a First Amendment complaint, and I'm thinking this will happen. I'm kind of like, I did move to Hawaii, but I don't know if I have my dates and everything right. But at any rate, I filed a first complaint against Hayes Valley. And I did move to Hawaii, but I'm not for sure of exactly when I filed the first complaint. I think I was living in Hawaii. But at any rate, after that, I dismissed it. I dismissed the lawsuit against Hayes Valley. It was for breach of contract, negligence, and here is the dismissal. I dismissed that without prejudice, and the judge granted it. And the judge, it says, Superior Court of the State of California, County of San Francisco, Sharon Bridgewater plaintiff versus Hayes Valley Partnership defendants, which is pretty much the government. This matter came before the court on November 25th, 2007. So, okay. I wasn't in Hawaii then. I filed it, and I was going through so much stuff, moving back and forth, and I really couldn't concentrate on legal stuff. So what happened was, I did file a lawsuit, and because I was going through all the emotional trauma with the broken foot and all that stuff, I dismissed it. Okay, because this says this matter came before the court on November 25th, 2007. Upon considering the complaint and good cause appearing thereon, the court finds that leave to file a first amended complaint is granted. It is so ordered. Okay, that's what this is. And that's against Hayes Valley. Now, this was back in 2007. So after that, guys, that's when I moved to Hawaii. I said, oh, forget this stuff. I'm going. So I moved to Maui, Hawaii, and it was a beautiful experience. So I just really, really loved Maui so much. I said, oh, my goodness, I just want to just live here forever. It was just like paradise. So what I did, I decided to come back to California, okay? I said, yeah, I'm finna get me some money. I'm moving back to Maui, okay? So, but at any rate, that's why I came back. I moved from Hawaii because it's so expensive, and I moved back to California, and this is in another story, okay? Because it's another story, but I'm going to tell you. So I came back to California, and I filed a lawsuit against Hayes Valley. Now, I'm not going to read you exactly about this order, but I was so extremely mad at all the stuff that I went through. Yeah, I was so extremely mad at all the stuff I went through, and I had filed this judge's name. Her name is her name is, what judge is it? Her name is, who is her? Phyllis Hamilton. Okay, so guys, I was so mad at Hayes Valley. I said, I filed a lawsuit against them. And I'm not, so much on here. I think I filed like 15 causes of actions for wrongful eviction, tortious interference with contract, common law force of detainer, common law retaliatory eviction, tortious interference with right to quiet enjoyment, and then malicious prosecution, and you go on and on. And then I asked her for $1,872,000,000. Okay. Now, I was so mad. I asked her for $1 trillion, and I just put that amount down, just because I was so mad, and I was just trying to make a point to the court, that I've been through so much. But it was like $1,400,872,000,000. So this was dismissed. This lawsuit, which was 3551. So after I dismissed this against the government, after she dismisses $1 trillion suit, what the government did was retaliated. They retaliated against my son and I, because I have filed like 42 cases or more. Some of these cases are not even on the PACER website because they were like depleted from the mafia or whatever. So some of them cases ain't even on it, but I filed 42 cases. But I guess Mount Carmel decided like, oh yeah, I got a chance to get a whole lot of money. I got a chance to get like $100 trillion or more, because of what I filed right here, which this says I seek damages like for $1,400,000,000,000. $872 million. Okay. Yeah, I was mad. So, but at any rate, so what the government did was they retaliated, and from 2007 to up until today, I filed well, no, I shouldn't say today, but up until I think 2017 or 18. And I just stopped filing. I said, okay, forget it. This is not going nowhere. I started getting my sanity back or whatever. But like I was telling you, in between that time, I was retaliated by the government. I was homeless, and I was just going through so much distress because I was fighting the government. So because I filed that $1 trillion suit, I guess he's gonna say, yeah, this is a chance for me to get $100 trillion. So after that, y'all remember that Fast and Furious thing with Eric Holder and Obama was gun running and stuff. So it was a lawsuit pending in Washington, D.C. And so what happened was I filed so many lawsuits and I was getting violated so much. What happened was they permitted me, it was a trick scheme thing, okay, by Mount Carmel. Because what happened was, this is Committee on Oversight, Government and Reform. The lawsuit with Eric Holder, with Committee on Oversight versus Eric Holder, what the judges and what they did was, they did a little trick scheme thing. They said that I was granted leave to intervene right here in the Committee on Oversight, and then on the same day they said I wasn't granted leave. So the judge, which was Amy Jackson right here, she ruled two things. She ruled in the same day: you permitted to intervene, then you are not part of this lawsuit. So it was some trick scheme thing on that. So I don't know what happened to that. I mean, this is what happened. It was a trick scheme thing, and I filed a case in Washington, D.C., which was, this case number was 117 CV0056, and this lawsuit names 575 defendants. Okay, that was dismissed, and I got this order right here. This was dismissed by some judge. As you can see down here, this is the same document you see down there that some judge just got S down there. So there was some fraud scheme going on right there. So this lawsuit was dismissed. So what happened was, I appealed this to the United States Courts of Appeal, and it was like maybe these many amount of lawsuits right here, guys, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And it's over this. These are just some that I had. All of these cases was dismissed in the U.S. Court of Appeals after I appealed this, okay? Of the 575 defendants, okay. This lawsuit entitled Sharon Bridgewater versus, it was Jeff Sessions at the time. But now it's William Barr, because when one attorney leaves, then the other attorney replaces that. So This lawsuit is entitled, this case number is 17169. Okay. This was dismissed, and this is an admiralty and maritime claim. And that means, you just can attach people property or whatever right there. Okay. This was dismissed. Okay. So everything I filed in Washington, D.C. was dismissed. The only thing that was not dismissed was, or is not dismissed and is fraud. Yeah, here are these orders right here, guys. Here are these orders. This right here. This right here. All of these are orders. All of these are orders. All of these are orders. All of these are orders from the U.S. Court of Appeals. So, getting back to this, where is this order at? This order right here. This is fraud. This this one, there's so many papers I have, guys. It's too much. Okay, this right here. This one right here. This is fraud right here. I didn't file anything in this case. And just like I said, this Abby thing right here. Parents by Abby Wright, Thomas Putnam, Paul Ham on behalf of William Barr and Donald Trump. So William Barr and Donald Trump, they know what's going on. They know this fraud. They know good and well that they didn't receive nothing from me. No doggone government. And then, so this is fraud right here. So, like I said, all cases was dismissed. So, what I'm assuming what they did, folks, is, just like I said, first of all, how can two criminals sue each other? If y'all criminal partners, how can you sue each other if y'all criminal partners? Both of them had agreement with each other. The public-private partnership, they was in agreement with each other to do some criminal fraudulent stuff. Just like I showed y'all on them, they was criminal partners. And just like I showed y'all, he saw a little opportunity to, say, hey, oh man, $1 trillion. He saw that $1 trillion down, and I guess he said, oh man, yeah, this is an opportunity for me to get me some money, some real money. So it's not funny, but at any rate, what they did is the criminal partners. What they did was, because just like I said, guys, I've been disabled, retaliated against for years, and all my cases been dismissed. 42 plus cases, and I filed one complaint. And the judge granted me leave to file a First Amendment complaint. And I haven't filed that yet. I haven't filed that in no Supreme Court. I haven't did no writ of ceremonial. And what they did was, what I believe was submitted some fraudulent, fake, forged documents to the Supreme Court in trillions. And what they did was they got one of their criminal partners who on their side. They got Robert Mueller for the special prosecutor who was part of the criminal racket. And they just faked everything out like they doing something. And all of them working together to defraud my son and I out of money. I guess he said, I'm finna get this $1 trillion. I'm finna take this money away from this lady. Okay? So, but at any rate, that's what happened. I haven't filed a First Amendment complaint yet. The Supreme Court justices, they know. If the Supreme Court justices got some doggone, y'all, this is me. This is who I am, and this is how I speak sometimes. Yes, I am a little country, but yeah, we do have a right to express ourselves. But if the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court know good and well you ain't got no two poor African Americans file any documents up in their court. They know that we didn't file them documents because if we did, we would receive something. We will receive something. They know we ain't gonna file no $100 trillion in no court documents in no Supreme Court and don't receive nothing. Come on now. Do that sound right? They know it's fraud. They in on it too. They in on it too to defraud my son and I out of money and property. They joined the Hayes Valley public-private partnership conspiracy. Faking the documents up. They know good and well because they had a legal duty. If they got court documents up in their court with my son and my name on, they got a legal duty to, especially $100 trillion. They got a legal duty to investigate. They the top legal mans of the country, and shoot, they have Pacer right in their offices. All they got to do is just like They know all the cases that were dismissed. They know we didn't file no first, no written, no ceremonial in the Supreme Court. They know that. It ain't nowhere, nothing on their dockets or nothing. Okay, we haven't filed nothing. They fraud. And the courts of heaven are open. The Supreme Court justices are on trial as well as all these government people. So, just like I filed this notice of dismissal. We have a right and we dismiss them claims, and just like they came out with this order here about they came out with this order right here after we submitted this right here, this notice of dismissal. They know they ain't got no jurisdiction. They already know they ain't got no jurisdiction to rule because they ain't got nothing up and they ain't got no First Amendment complaint. Where is our writ of ceremony after the 42 complaints? They already know they ain't got no jurisdiction. We ain't. Where's our trillion? Where's our billions of dollars that you got $1 trillion up there? They already know everything up there is fraudulent, faking fraud, and they part of the racket to defraud my son and I out of money. Cause I already know they got the little things up in it, and they can't get out of it, cause they part of the racket. Attempts qualify as RICO conspirators too, and one of the RICO things is bribery. They saw, yeah, we'll do this. Them poor little black folk can't help themselves. That's what they all saying. But you know what, guys? God is in control. God is in control. But so it's we going on an hour, folks. So there you have it. I'm gonna come back to you guys with some more information. Again, these are emergency videos. And just like I said, how can two criminal partners criminal partners sue each other? Y'all ain't crime together. That don't make no sense. But at any rate, I love you all. The courts are open, and we all on trial right now, guys, because we are at the end. And as always, I love you guys again, and I'm checking out. And until then.